We've been testing best budget gaming laptops 2024, digging deep into the latest flavors of AMD processor and NVIDIA graphics silicon. And we know which notebooks sing and which are just tone deaf. We're not just talking about sleek, expensive new machines either. We've picked a range of budget gaming laptops 2024 at different price points to highlight which give you the best bang for buck and which are just outright awesome. To help you find the right model, we've listed the top best budget gaming laptops 2024 and their key features, plus the things you need to consider to help you choose the best one for you. And as always, you can check pricing for any of these products in the description below. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get started. Number 5. Acer Nitro 5 RTX 4050. The Acer Nitro 5, now renamed to Nitro V15, packed with delicious internals that can handle AAA gaming, blew my mind. This is a sub-$1,000 gaming laptop, so naturally, I didn't want to get my hopes up. However, the Nitro 5 is arguably one of the best cheap gaming laptops on the market. It's even better than the MSI Cyborg 15, another cheap gaming laptop I recently reviewed. But of course, the Nitro 5 is a budget-friendly laptop, which means Acer had no choice but to make some compromises that may turn you off. That being said, let's dive into what I like and dislike about the Acer Nitro 5. I'm a sucker for gaming laptops that look good in both environments. A glitzy entertainment room and inside a stuffy corporate office. The Acer Nitro 5 fits that bill. Call me a snooze fest all you want, but I can't stand gaming laptops that look like gaming laptops. You know, the ISOs that simply have too much going on the chassis, lid, and keyboard. I want a game, not throw a darn 80s party on the keyboard. The last thing I want is distracting features. I'm looking at you RGB lighting, disrupting my focus during gameplay. The Nitro 5 has the perfect balance of fun and serious. It has a cool lid that looks like Wall-E rolled over it, leaving futuristic tracks on the cover. On the top center, you'll find an iridescent N that gives the Nitro 5 its edge. However, it's not plagued with perky RGB lighting you may find on pricier gaming laptops, which I'm not complaining about. The Nitro V keeps it simple with white backlighting. Number 4. Gigabyte G5 KF. This budget gaming notebook from Gigabyte features an Alder Lake processor and an Ada Lovelace GPU. It also has a PCIe 4.0 SSD, 512 GB, 16 GB of RAM and an FTT panel, 144 Hz. But Windows doesn't come pre-installed. One serious drawback, the included charger can sometimes be overloaded by the laptop. The G5 KF is a gaming laptop in the lower price segment. The 15.6-inch device will set you back roughly €969, $1,026. Though a Windows license isn't included in the price. The Gigabyte laptop is competing with the likes of the MSI Cyborg 15 at 12VF, Intel NUC X15, Lenovo Legion Slim 516 AP88, and Asus TUF A15 FA507. The G5 KF is a follow-up to the G5 KE and shares the same physical design. You can thus refer to our G5 KE review for more information on the chassis, features, input devices, and display. The Gigabyte G5 2024 is a great deal, and that's a little surprising considering the price hike we usually see for brand new gaming laptops. But you'll find no fad features or unnecessary add-ons to push up the costs here. Just a straightforward, well-built, and cleverly provisioned gaming laptop for £1,200, or tiled $1,100 in the US for a similar, if only slightly worse, model that delivers plenty of frames and games. Let's start with the star of the show here, the RTX 4060. We're yet to see NVIDIA's RTX 40 series drop to this level on desktop, but even this budget-friendly card delivers superb 1080 performance befitting the G5's 1080, 144 Hz display. That's partially down to the power Gigabyte's prepared to pump into the GPU inside this machine, 75 value. That might not seem like much next to the 175 W RTX 4090 laptops we've reviewed this year, but it's 30W more than MSI is ready to run through its own RTX 4060 powered gaming laptop, the Cyborg 15. And you can watch the frame rate go up with every extra watt pulsing through the G5's GPU. The Gigabyte G5 is up to 27% faster than the Cyborg 15 in our testing. And the Cyborg 15 even has a better CPU for gaming under the hood. With generally higher performance than an RTX 3060 laptop for roughly the same price as one, and added support for DLSS frame generation, the newer G5 seems like a done deal already. Number 3. Lenovo LOQ 15 2023 RTX 4050. Following the resounding success of its Legion line of gaming laptops, Lenovo recently introduced an alternate line with a deeper emphasis on budget. With a starting price of $949, $1,279 as tested, model APH8. Its first effort is the LOQ 15, which we had hands-on time with earlier this year. It runs on modest specs and within a tamer build versus the Legion series, but it borrows some of that DNA for an appealing budget gaming laptop. If you're strapped for cash, the LOQ 15 will serve you just fine, but the cheaper Gigabyte Aorus 15 BMF outperforms it and beats it on features, keeping a lock on its Editor's Choice Award for the category. With the LOQ 15, Lenovo dialed down the build a bit to break into the budget bracket. While the fairly affordable Lenovo Legion Slim 5 Gen 8 and Lenovo Legion Pro 5 Gen 8 both featured metal display lids and sturdy plastics elsewhere, the Lenovo LOQ 15 gets an all-plastic chassis. It's still rather firm, with little flex, thanks to a solid stuffing of components. To try and mask this material's downgrade, Lenovo added more flourishes, with blue accents on the speaker grills and radiator fins. Though only the fins are visible while actually using the laptop, the plastic bezels are another obvious downgrade, not because they're plastic, but because they're bigger than most would like. Despite the Lenovo LOQ 15 being thicker and larger from front to back than, and just as wide as, the Lenovo Legion Slim 5 Gen 8, it has a smaller display. Its 15.6-inch panel uses the more typical 16:9 aspect ratio and is left with more bezel width as a result. The LOQ 15 also proves the heavier laptop at 5.4 pounds, despite its lower-end hardware, which is a real shame. Nothing special about Lenovo's screen used here. It's typical of screens I've seen in late-model budget machines. It displays a 1080p native resolution at a 144 Hz refresh rate. That might seem super fast, but 144 Hz has become mostly standard for gaming machines. The panel doesn't produce a wide color gamut or high brightness, though it does have an anti-glare coating that makes for relatively easy viewing compared with a glossy display with similar brightness levels. We've got data on our screen tests later in this review. Number 2. MSI Cyborg 15 Gaming Laptop. For you PC players whose eyes are bigger than your wallets, MSI has an answer with a budget gaming laptop called the Cyborg 15, $999 as tested. This notebook isn't going to set any speed records, but it provides playable 1080p gaming in a decent design for the price. It's no gaming Godzilla despite a recent Intel H series CPU and a latest round NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4050 GPU, but it outruns similarly priced casual laptops, and our December 2021 Editor's Choice Award winner for cheap gaming laptops, MSI's own Katana GF66. The Cyborg 15 falls short of Editor's Choice honors, since it fails to outperform some comparably priced models with older GeForce RTX 3060 graphics, but it's well worth a look from economy-minded gamers. The MSI Cyborg 15 starts off on a positive note by blending a spiffy translucent plastic across parts of its chassis, while an aluminum display cover produces a more premium look and feels almost akin to the much more expensive Origin EON16s that I tested recently. It's considerably more pleasant than the cheap feeling all-plastic Katana GF66. MSI went with an angular design that gives the Cyborg 15 the look and feel of a machine, as befits its name. Squared-off corners and a raised lip on the display panel enhance this effect. The chassis has a little bend and flex, but feels reasonably sturdy. The keyboard, a simple checkered-style affair with single-color blue backlighting, isn't much to get excited about. The lighting doesn't actually show through any of the translucent areas except for the Yo-Yo AST keys. MSI also continues to copy the font of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movie posters for its keycaps. The cursor arrow keys are in the proper inverted T instead of a row, but the right shift key is shrunk to an awkward size, and the arrows butt into the numeric keypad, making for a slightly clumsy layout. At least there is a number pad. Not always a given on 15.6-inch laptops, especially with today's ever narrower screen bezels. Number 1. Asus TUF 15 2024. It's getting harder than ever to recommend a good gaming laptop. Not because your options are limited, but because there's so much competition in this category lately. At the same time, the vast majority of people who are ready to invest in mobile gaming gear are looking to stretch their buck as far as possible with a machine that provides a superb gaming setup and workhorse functionality. So what does the Asus TUF Gaming F15 have to offer? Its latest edition leans more towards the mid-range of gaming with its hardware, but underneath the slick steel lid, there's a competent machine that can provide a rock-solid gaming experience if you keep your expectations in check. Throw in capable content creation functionality, and you've got yourself an attractive Swiss Army knife that you can throw into your backpack. In terms of this review unit provided by Asus, the TUF F15 is packing a 12th Gen Intel Core i7, a mobile GeForce RTX 3050, 16 GB of RAM, and a 1080 panel clocked at 60 Hz. Externally, you've got plenty of ports to take advantage of, including a Thunderbolt 4-port, USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C, 2 more USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type-A ports, HDMI 2.0, Ethernet, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. Not too shabby. The other big plus here is the weight of the F15, which combines an overall sturdy feel with a very manageable heft of 2 kilograms. As someone who has lugged around heavier gear at conventions before, knowing that I can put this in my bag, throw it over my shoulder, and not instantly shatter my spinal column is a huge relief. For the screen, you're looking at a 15.6-inch panel that has a fairly high pixel density. Images look sharp, and for entertainment purposes, you'll be able to enjoy some rock-solid gaming and multimedia visuals on it. For content creation purposes, you could do better. But if you're planning to create disposable and quick-fire entertainment, then the screen is more than up to the task of handling fast edits with a lower level of color precision.